Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we like to take casual conversations about tech and, um, really try to dive a little deeper into some of the latest issues that are out there. And I have to say, the stuff that you sent over is pretty heavy this week.
Yeah, a little doom and gloom this week.
Yeah, we've got some encryption policies to discuss some major changes and, kind of some scary new threats.
Yeah, that we should all be aware of.
So why don't we just jump right in? I think the biggest news this week has got to be Apple and Era.
Yeah.
Like their changes to iCloud encryption in the UK, right?
Right, yeah.
So basically it sounds like Apple is facing a ton of pressure from the UK Home Office to allow law enforcement to be able to access user data.
Yeah, so they're basically discontinuing their advanced data protection feature for UK users, which basically means that they're stepping away from end-to-end encryption for certain types of data.
Okay.
So
does that mean if the UK authorities issue a warrant or something that Apple has to basically just hand over the data? Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. So basically instead of only you having the key to unlock your data, Apple's now going to hold a key as well. They're legally obligated to comply with these requests. They've been pretty vocal about it and how they don't really like this and how they're still super committed to privacy. But at the end of the day, they have to, work within the legal framework.
Right, of course. So what kind of data are we talking about here? Is everything in my iCloud now up for grabs?
Not everything, no. Things like your health data and your passwords are still going to be protected with that end-to-end encryption.
Okay.
But other data like your iMessages are going to be accessible to Apple and, potentially to authorities.
Okay, so it's not like a total privacy wipeout, but it's still a pretty big shift. So this is probably not sitting well with a lot of UK iPhone users. How should people be thinking about this?
Yeah, it's a valid concern, right? It really highlights this tension that exists between privacy and security and how those lines can get blurred when governments get involved.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of governments getting involved, we also saw this week Australia decided to ban Kaspersky software from all government agencies, citing national security risks.
Yeah, this is a super interesting case because, Kaspersky is a Russian cybersecurity firm, and Australia is basically concerned about potential for foreign interference, espionage, or even sabotage if that software is running on, sensitive government systems.
Yeah, and they set a hard deadline, too, of April 1st, 2025.
Yeah.
For all agencies to completely remove Kaspersky software. So, they're not messing around.
Yeah, they're serious about it, and this could potentially signal a broader trend of governments really scrutinizing foreign technologies, especially those that are coming from countries that they have, geopolitical tensions with.
Yeah, it's this delicate balancing act, trying to leverage global tech advancements, but also mitigate potential risks.
Yeah.
So this kind of raises a question that I'm sure is on a lot of people's minds. If a government bans a particular piece of software, should we as individuals follow suit?
Right. That's the question, isn't it? Unfortunately, there's no easy answer. It really boils down to your own personal risk assessment. What kind of data are you protecting? Do you feel comfortable with the potential risks associated with that specific software? You really have to weigh the pros and cons and make an informed decision for yourself.
Right. Makes sense. All right. Last but not least, we have to talk about this.
Yeah.
Really sneaky phishing attack that is targeting Signal users. Now, Signal is known for its really strong end-to-end encryption and it's always been considered kind of like a haven for privacy conscious people.
Right, exactly. And that's what makes this attack so insidious. It really preys on that trust that users have in Signal's security.
Yeah. So how did this attack actually work?
So basically you have hackers creating fake Signal features or groups with malicious QR codes attached to them.
Right.
So it could be disguised as a new feature or an exclusive group, and users are enticed to scan the code.
And then when you scan the code, what happens?
Basically, your Signal account gets linked to the attacker's device.
Oh, wow.
And they gain access to your messages. But it's done in a way that's completely hidden from view. So you wouldn't even know that your account has been compromised.
So it's way scarier than someone stealing your password or something.
Exactly. It gives them long-term covert access to your private conversations.
Yeah. And what's even more concerning is this technique isn't limited to Signal, right?
Right. It can be used against any other encrypted messaging app like WhatsApp or Telegram.
Yeah. So the takeaway here is basically be super cautious about scanning QR codes.
Absolutely.
Especially ones related to messaging apps.
If something seems even slightly off, just don't scan it. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Good advice. Good advice. Well, this has been quite a deep dive.
Yeah.
I feel like we covered some pretty heavy stuff today, but it's good to be aware of these things, right?
Absolutely. Knowledge is power. The more informed we are about these threats and vulnerabilities, the better equipped we are to protect ourselves.
Couldn't agree more. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It has been enlightening, to say the least.
Happy to be here.
All right, and for our listeners, stay vigilant, stay informed. And as always, thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions. Until next time.